Here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Masahiro Sakura, director of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate from Sora Limited.
But I'm excited.
We'll be using today's showcase to give you a first look at our next DLC fighter.
No pre-announcement.
Actually, hardly anyone knows what we'll be announcing today, even among Nintendo staff worldwide.
Oh, come on.
The development team and other stakeholders have been working on this fighter with the utmost secrecy. Which means other Nintendo staff around the globe will only start making preparations.
Do I have
for
deep
release
voice now?
after the
No!
showcase has been
Oh,
broadcast.
I've got to fix this. Hold on.
So, it won't be available right away. Please understand that it will take a little time. I think even many Nintendo employees will be surprised to see this and say, wow, really?
Getting our hands on the latest information. However, even if you say, that's not the character I was picturing, I hope you don't have any hard feelings.
That sounds better?
prepared
Okay.
a fighter reveal video. Once it starts, I think you'll figure out who it is pretty quickly. Now, let's do this.
Let's see. Who's this character? It's Smash Bros. Smash Bros for Smash Bros. Huh. They've pulled tricks on us before.
To unleash the forbidden spell of Zaharat upon our enemies.
It wouldn't surprise me if this is a fake out.
What were you thinking, charging right into an enemy's trap?
Sorry, Mom.
As you and I are one, I too am trapped within this void. In time, our hearts and minds will cease to be. Are you prepared to die? I thought as much. I also do not wish to die. And yet... there is no other choice.
I must join Smash! Sothis
You
enters the
must
battle.
join Smash.
Okay, I guess it is Byleth.
Join Smash Brothers already! What in the world are you
Please-
waiting for?
I would love it if he just straight up refused. Byleth joins Smash House.
So joining Smash consumes even the darkness itself.
So weird. Oh man. We got background characters of all the different Three Houses characters. I was really hoping. Honestly, I was really hoping for one of the. Well, hold on.
So you return, and sooner than expected. I see. Too many swordsmen, are there? And you wield the sword as well? What will you do?
Well, they knew exactly what they were talking about.
So that is how you plan to win the day? So be it. I reward your cleverness this time.
Oh.
How is this?
So it is kind of what I was hoping for before, with Byleth recruits Byleth. Good lord. Wait. Are they gonna act as like the ice climbers?
Of anyone, you should be able to handle the hero's relics.
No, it's still a single character, but just they use all the relics as opposed to just a sword. Okay.
Use Amir's overwhelming power.
On the bright side, that is more interesting than just the sword.
Blinding speed of
But
Byleth.
this is kind of what I was saying before, why I thought it would be more interesting to have the,
Along with the sword of the creator. Each weapon
where it would,
matches
yeah, it would be more
direction.
interesting to have the different lords be characters. But you can actually use each of the different the fishing, oh my god. You use their weapons at the very least.
Your will and mine be now as one.
It's a little bit disappointing that we couldn't get a little bit more of a
Both
charismatic
sides of
character.
time are revealed.
But you honestly can't say he didn't see this
Show
coming,
the world.
considering the popularity of Three Houses. I can't think that... Actually... Oh my god. Oh, those are pinned up on the wall before. I'm kind of wondering, actually, now
Yes,
if...
there you have it. Byleth.
I didn't actually get a good look at it, but I wonder if Byleth's, like,
Fire Emblem Three Houses was released just last summer, so it's still
like
very
A-attacks,
new. Even
smashes,
so, you'll soon be able to
tilts,
play as
you know,
them in
standards,
Super
and
Smash
aerials
Bros. Ultimate.
are based on whatever
This
weapon they
release
have
is
out at
planned
the
for
time.
January 28th. You'll have
January
instant
28th. Okay,
access
so
if
we're
you
actually
have the
not
Super
getting
Smash
this
Bros.
today.
Ultimate Fighter
Wow.
Pass, and it will also be available for purchase individually. In case you're not familiar with Fire Emblem or Three Houses, I'll explain a few things, so don't worry. First off, what is Fire Emblem?
Honestly, with all the characters that are in Smash, you
It's
probably
really
don't have
hard
to explain
pronounce
that.
in Japanese. The producer said it's okay if I just say Fire Emblem. But when writing it, if you don't write Fire Emblem, the Fire Emblem police will come and get you, so please be careful.
Fire Emblem? I'm assuming that's a joke that didn't
The
translate
series'
very
first
well.
entry launched in Japan on the Famicom in 1990. You could say it was a pioneer in the genre of tactical role-playing games. You might be wondering what makes it particularly
Oh, I see, because it's Fire
Well, it's tactical
Emblem,
in that it simulates
not
combat.
Fire Emblem.
You can think of it as moving pieces in a board game. Or in other words, a game in which you advance units across a grid in battle.
Well, it's interesting, because I was thinking as well that
When we talk about
we were
tactical
not
games of that
going
era,
to get...
there were lots of ones in which you command tanks,
I was thinking that
aircraft,
during this
and so
entire
on.
pack we weren't going to
But
get any
Fire
first-party
Emblem was
Nintendo
unique
characters.
because each unit was a specific
Because
character,
technically we did get
sort of
Piranha
like
Plant,
in
but that
role-playing
wasn't
games.
part of the DLC pack. And every other character since then has been
Plus,
third-party.
something made it stand out from other Nintendo products. Characters could permanently die. That's pretty direct language, though, so perhaps we
Characters
should just say
dying.
they're sleeping with the fishes. But really, if a character fell in battle, you lose that unit. They'd be gone and you couldn't use them again. Recent entries in the series maintain this concept of permadeath to some degree in classic mode and what have you. But a lot of games now
I get the
allow
feeling we're going to be at a
strategic
point where the
withdrawals,
Mii,
so to speak.
where the Mii costumes are going to be more hype than the actual DLC
In the older
character.
games, your units would really be gone, never to be mentioned again. Scary. The game's stories are told like chronicles of war, with increasingly distinct characters and engrossing scenarios.
Well, I also can't wait to see
Several
how many people are going to
characters
get mad
also
because
appear in
of...
the Super Smash Brothers series, and 6 of the 7 can use
well,
a
we're probably going to get the
counterattack.
Lords. The
It's their
Lords are probably going
downside.
to be Mii costumes.
There's actually a reason for this. When I was considering how to incorporate Fire Emblem fighters into Super Smash Bros. Melee, I thought it might be interesting to reflect the turn-based nature of the original game. First comes your opponent's turn. They attack and you counter. Next comes your turn.
Was that just with any Fire Emblem character, or was that specifically with Byleth?
And now,
that they
Fire
were
Emblem
considering a
Three Houses
turn-based
is the 17th
strategy
game in the
in
series.
Smash Bros.
People who aren't Japanese in
call it the
particular
Sans
might be
Point, that's
thinking,
true.
17 games? There are that many? Well, if you include Fire Emblem Heroes in the remakes, but you don't include the Satellaview game, Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE, and Fire Emblem Warriors, then it comes out to 17 games. Let's try saying them in the Fire Emblem Can You Say It challenge.
Oh my god.
I'll give it a try.
暗黒竜と光の剣、外伝、紋章の謎、聖戦の系譜、
Yeah, most of these we didn't get. We didn't get them until the Game Boy era.
聖魔の功績、荘園の奇跡、暁の女神、新暗黒竜新紋章、覚醒
Moving his fingers in weird ways, man.
There you go, 17.
Oh, 3 houses. That's why I was
So
doing the
you saw
pose.
how I was counting in a weird way, right? I was counting in binary.
つまりこれが全部
This is 0.
I mean, like,
Fold this here and you get 1, and then you get 2, then 2 plus 1 equals 3. So this would be 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you get 16. Add 1 and you get 17. Awesome, isn't it?
damn. 3
You
houses,
can
but
actually
also
count
17.
up to 31 on one hand. And if you use both hands, you can count all the way up to 1023.
畳の数を数えるのに目の数を数える
If you've given up counting the knots in a tatami mat, you could always give it a go. What is Fire Emblem Three Houses? In Japanese, the male version of the main character is called Bereto, and the female version is called Beresu. But in English, they share the same name, Byleth.
Barrett's and Beretta?
Byleth becomes a professor who ends up leading one of 3 academic houses. Once you've chosen a house, you
only
guide
played
them
one of
through their
those
school
houses,
life, and
'cause it
well,
took 60
you end up
hours to
fighting
do.
other houses. After a certain incident, 5 years pass, and you meet up with your grown-up students to battle against the other houses in their region.
Whoa, spoilers!
It's a very sad game in which your former allies become enemies, turn hostile, and try to kill you.
Generally, they go the opposite direction
To
with Fire Emblem
understand the
games,
concept of
where
Fire
former
Emblem
enemies
Three
turn
Houses, I played an
turn
early
ally.
version of the game before its release. I've done the same thing before, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, for example, because I couldn't wait until launch to experience it, or we'd have never made it in time. For that title, I borrowed an early version of the game for 2 days, ran around all the areas, saw the ending, and realized for the first time, I guess we can't really have Breath of the Wild's Princess Zelda as a fighter.
Now he's just giving information that's just going to disappoint
I
everybody.
did the same this time, but with there being 3 houses and multiple endings, it was really hard to get a feel for it. And of course, there weren't any walkthroughs I could reference.
I'm a scrub when it comes to strategy games.
The game
says
has multiple
Sakurai.
routes, and the outcome of each is very different. Your experience will vary depending on the
Maybe
route
he was
you
playing on a
choose,
higher
and many of the
difficulty, though.
characters you meet will adopt different roles in the story. I'll try to avoid spoilers when I'm talking about the fighter. I hope you'll understand.
I mean, like you just already mentioned, there's a time skip, so I guess
Before my
the images of like the
I
grown-up
should point out
students
that
have
when I
just
did the
been passed
Terry
around for a
Bogard
while, though.
showcase video, I mentioned that it was recorded a month in advance. But this time, we have to account for the holidays and such, so we're filming 2 months in advance of this video's release. Right now, it's actually November.
I kind of wonder if
Therefore,
I
some
kind
of
of
what
wonder
I'm
like
about
how
to
many
show
things
you
are going to
might
be
differ a bit
changing.
from the finished version.
Okay, yeah, some things you may see
As
different
always,
from the
I'm using a
okay.
special in-game camera and such for demonstration purposes. Here I go.
All right, well, let's see what's going on. Part of Challenger Pack 5. Byleth from Fire Emblem Three Houses joins the battle.
So, this is our new fighter, Byleth. Sadly,
Dude, there he
they're lacking
is!
in
The
mobility.
gatekeeper!
It's
The
maybe a bit
gatekeeper's
better than
here!
Robin's, but that's about all you can say for them. Throws are not their strong point either. Their grab lacks range. But actually, you could say
Greetings,
that they're
Professor!
distance
Nothing to
demons.
report.
The hero's relic they use changes depending on the direction you input with the stick. Each of the hero's relics is a weapon that appears in Fire Emblem Three
Oh,
Houses.
okay.
They look like bones, and there's a reason for that. First, let's talk about the weapon Byleth uses for upward inputs, the Sword of the Creator. The Sword of the Creator here is
That's just for
Byleth's
upward
default
inputs,
weapon.
too.
They use it for flurry attacks and tilt attacks, such as down tilt attacks, where it takes the form of a whip.
Oh, okay. It's used for okay.
They also
Very
use the
strong
sword for
dash.
dash attacks and other moves.
Wait. I'm gonna have to get my hands on this character, wrap my
For
head
their
around
up
that.
smash attack, they'll whip the sword upward to launch enemies in the air. For their up air attack, they'll wave the whip sword overhead.
So basically, their
The hit
Byleth
detection
is
for this attack lasts for a
Ivy
relatively long
from Soul
time.
Calibur.
The
with that
up special
sword.
move is really something. The sword extends like this, allowing you to do things like this.
Woo!
It was pretty terrifying.
That's pretty
how I
neat.
knocked him into the air with that attack. And in addition,
Oh!
you can do awful things like this. That said,
It's
you'll
such a
launch
shame that
opponents
like
upward
Captain
until
Falcon
their
has a very
damage reaches
similar
a certain
move, but
percentage.
it's not nearly as good.
Exceed
It
that
only
percentage
spikes when
and
the
you'll
when
need to be
damage is high,
careful.
though.
You may
Okay.
find it helpful to mid-air dodge. I've already shown this, but you can also use it to latch onto edges.
A
So
tether,
that's
as
the
it
up
were.
special. Now, for the sideways inputs. This is Erdvar, the same name as the weapon from Celtic mythology.
Dimitri's spear.
First, we'll go through the forward and back air attacks. As you can see, they have a long reach. Like so.
So I think this is what the creators use for all the tilt attacks too.
If Byleth does the same thing, you'd win out, so you should be able to beat it.
It's got a lot. Yeah,
Next, the side smash
Byleth
attack.
seems to have
This also
some-
has a
some
long range.
good range.
It'll connect even from here.
Real good range.
Also, if you add an upward tilt, it will be stronger.
Huh.
And if you've knocked an opponent down, the side attack won't hit unless you add a downward tilt to aim for them. By the way, the tip of the lance is more powerful.
Very similar
The
to
shaft part
Corrin's
is weaker.
side smash.
So it's not suited to close combat. It won't deal much damage, and it won't launch opponents far. That's why, as a rule, you want to hit with the blade part
Good
aimed
lord,
up,
look at how much distance that covers.
or downward in this case. Next, the side special move. Byleth will simply swing the lance like this, but again, it has excellent reach. For example,
Kinda wonder what
even
other
when your
effects it
opponent
might
is
have
at
as
this
well.
distance, it'll still hit.
It does cover, yeah, like you said, cover some distance.
Actually, you can do a smash attack to charge forward a little, like this.
Smash attack.
But as you'd expect, it can be easily shielded, so be careful. Use it in midair and you'll carve up a large area.
More range in midair, okay.
Returning to the side air attacks from earlier, they have great horizontal reach, but they lack verticality. So this complements it well, although you'll be vulnerable when you land. Now, for the downward
At
inputs.
the very least, he's more interesting than
For these, Byleth will
than
use an
other
axe called
Fire
Ymir.
Emblem characters.
It's named after a weapon that appears in Ugaritic myth. First, the down air attack. It really is strong.
That's got a meteor.
You
Yep.
can try for a meteor effect with this attack. Next is the down smash attack. A heavy swing of the axe back and forth. As you can see, it has a great deal of launch power. And for the down special, Byleth channels all their energy into a devastating strike.
I wonder if that seems like it
It's
would
a
have
bold
super
move,
armor.
similar to the Falcon Punch, but here's what makes it different. When readying the move, there's a super armor effect.
There you go. Which again, so many
Which allows you to
so many
withstand
things
an
that
attack.
Captain Falcon has done, but like with none of the effects
Just
that
so
would
you know,
make it
if
good.
you execute a Falcon Punch at about the same time,
Why?
plays out like
Why?
this.
Why does Sakurai
It's a
hate
bit
Captain
slower than the
Falcon so
Falcon
much?
Punch, but due to the super armor effect, you have the advantage. Unless you get grabbed. Another notable aspect is that it lets you pass through platforms. While you're charging up, you can breeze past
Whoa.
platforms like this to reach a lower area.
That's interesting.
It won't let you jump, but you could use it as a surprise attack. Also, you can turn around during the move. The swing takes a while, so if an opponent runs behind you during the move, you can quickly change direction. Even though it can be hard to land a hit with this move, it can be really effective when used against a group of opponents. Plus, even if you fail to land a direct hit, any opponents on the ground nearby will still be launched a little.
Why would you hit a child?
It's as if the quaking of the ground launches them. By the way, earlier I talked a little bit about the other Fire Emblem characters' moves. I don't recommend using this down special against fighters from the Fire Emblem series, because
They're a lot fast. Oh, the counters as well. They're also a lot faster.
It hits with that much power in a single attack. Counters can actually multiply the power of blocked attacks, and using easily anticipated attacks like this could just get you hit
Well,
by
we now
counter after
have
counter.
we now know exactly how to counter that.
Next, we have the neutral moves. The bow you use is called Fail Not, which shares its name with the bow from the Knights of the Round Table. It only appears in a few neutral moves. You've got the neutral air attack. This attack is similar to a move with Hits and other fighters like him. It lets you spin the weapon around. It's also easy to create certain combos with it. And with the neutral special, you'll let loose an arrow. It seems pretty straightforward, right? But there are a few noteworthy aspects to this bow.
Can it not be countered?
First, the biggest difference between this bow and Link's is that once you enter the command, you can keep charging until it's ready. You can't release it partway through the charge, so when it does fire,
So it has
the
to
arrow
be.
travels
So
at high
it always
speed.
has to be at full charge.
It's also
then.
very powerful. That said, you can still cancel out of the stance using the shield button. You can also change direction while in the stance.
Can you aim
It
up?
works up until this point, but
Because that kind of
keep
reminds me
holding
of
the
Fist
button.
Bow.
you'll unleash
Ooh, okay.
a powerful arrow that looks like a beam of light.
You can charge it for longer.
You can perform this move by keeping the button held down. You charge up power like so, charge a bit more, and then fire. But again, you'll need to take care when using this move. For one, when you've powered up the move to its max, there's no way to cancel out of it. Not even with the shield button. In other words, you're committed to firing it. So you see, a situation like this is pretty terrible. Once you've entered the stance, you won't be able to do anything. Which means
It's really only
quite
good
the
for
risky
catching,
attack to use against fighters
enemies
who
off
have
guard
a
that
move
don't
with a
have
reflector effect. But
reflectors,
you could always just
or
aim
in,
into
or
the
in like
fray,
team
as
battle
it is,
situations
after
where
all,
they'd be
a
distracted.
long-range move, letting you deal a sudden blow to opponents. So you need to think carefully when using this projectile weapon. Byleth's final smash is called Progenitor God Ruptured Heaven. In the original game, there's a move called Ruptured Heaven. This is an enhanced version.
Oh, they're dead.
As you can see, you team up with the mysterious Sophis and launch an attack together.
ソティスが誰であるのか何なのかというのは原作で確認してみていただければと思います。
Now, let's talk about the color variations. It's set up so that the default and odd-numbered color variations are male, while the even-numbered ones are female. However,
Same with
the
four.
third,
Yep.
fourth, and
Ooh.
fifth colors are, as you can see, reminiscent of the house leaders.
Man, the
Those of
Dimitri
you
one
who
looks
played
real
the
good.
original game will of course understand
Like
what
it
I'm
almost looks
referring to.
exactly like him.
The sixth color is based on Sophis, who you just saw earlier. And the seventh and eighth variations have a different hair color, which is based on something that occurs in the course of the original game's story.
So basically, 1,
Didn't we see
2,
this
and then 7 and 8
variation in
are
Final Smash?
the same costume with different hair.
これは原作でもということで。
Garrigmach Monastery.
次にですね
We
Next,
already know
I'll
it's a
introduce
scrolling
the
stage
stage.
because it showed different locations.
For this one, we of course tried to recreate the place where you spend most of the game, Garrigmach Monastery. This is how
I hope they
Garrigmach
reference the
Monastery
gatekeeper.
is laid out in the original game. From these, we chose to have it cycle through the marketplace, reception hall, bridge, and cathedral all in one stage. It's the type
Also,
of
good
stage
choice
that
in the
rotates
soundtrack,
through
Tearing Through
different
Heaven.
areas, such as these four. Let me introduce each of the guests that appear in these four areas. The first area is the marketplace. I think this is where a lot of people come to do their shopping. The guests that appear here are students of the Blue Lion's house, Dimitri, Dedu, and Ingrid. Not Dimitri, Dudu, or Ingrid. Their names are a bit difficult to say. They're largely from the Holy Kingdom
Wow,
of Fargus.
Dudu.
Since it's a kingdom, that means they have a monarchy. For that reason, I guess you could say Dimitri's the future king. He had quite the difficult life and may or may not end up with just one eye. He's an unfortunate one, that one.
How oddly specific.
There are vendors on either side. In the original game, these are important booths where you buy all sorts of things, but here you can break them, you see.
Oh man, that's not going to be good
If
for
you
the
do break
monastery's
them-
business.
The stage will expand to the left and right. I wonder
about
where
the
people will buy their
gatekeeper?
supplies now. And in the background, you can see the gatekeeper. You often pass through this area in Fire Emblem 3 houses, and you end up talking to him a lot. Moving through these areas is possible thanks to this mysterious platform. Just when it seems like you've come to a stop,
Oh god, the sky! Oh man!
you'll come crashing back down.
destroying
You've
this
broken through the
place.
ceiling and slammed into the building. And the guests in the reception hall are Edelgard, Dorothea, and Petra of the Black Eagles. Take note, it's not spelled Edelgard. They're from the Adrestian Empire, and as such, they embrace their military might. Edelgard is one of the characters who is central to the conflict. Depending on the path you take, she'll go through some terrible ordeals. You'll notice there are prominent chandeliers above the stage. It's possible to knock them down.
You can also stand on them. I didn't even notice male Byleth was standing on there.
However, Byleth can't actually reach it, even though it's their stage. You can reach it with other
You had to
fighters.
get knocked up there.
So, it's nice if you can work your way up there by getting lucky and being launched up, or perhaps by using another fighter as a stepping stone. There we go. I made it.
Thanks,
And
Dollface.
you can knock it down.
Jeez.
Also, you can break this table. Like so.
Just showing off you can break the table. It's
Just
kinda
like the sign
in,
that
in
reads
Suzaku
Fudin
Castle.
Kaza in the Suzaku Castle stage. It can break if you launch the opponent into it at close range. Next up, the bridge. The camera rotates 90 degrees, creating this long area.
Raphael.
It's
Damn
very
it.
wide indeed.
We saw them already, so I guess I couldn't really be annoyed by that. Ugh, Hilda.
It's similar to the Bridge of Elden stage. The guests are from the Golden Deer, Claude, Hilda, and Lawrence. They belong to the Leicester Alliance. Because it's an alliance of many noble families, you could say that they have a wide assortment of members. And Claude is the sharpest of the bunch. Incidentally, both Claude and Hilda are the names of characters that appear in Genealogy of the Holy War, the 4th title in the Fire Emblem series.
Well, dang.
I guess once you've reached the 17th game and are creating 40 characters for each new entry, you're bound to get a bit of name overlap. The naming process must be tough. Hey,
I'm surprised Hilda bothered to show up at all.
As for the bridge's design, it's just a long pathway, plain and simple. You can expect plenty of blows to be exchanged at the edges of the screen.
It's so. Here's the thing. I kind of wish that like
You
they
could
would
also
give
say
you
it's
the
a
option
place
to
where the fail knot
choose.
really shines.
If you turn
And in
stage
this
hazards
sense,
off,
I
you'd be
think
able to
it suits
choose
the Golden
which
Deer perfectly.
area in a stage you'd be able to fight on. Because that would seem like it would work out really well for this stage.
The last area is the cathedral, only with some platforms you can pass through. The guests appearing in the cathedral are Sedith, Flayn, and Rhea. There's Sedith, who appears to have an extremely strong bond with his sister, Flayn. She seems to be under the protection of him and Rhea, who you can see fighting during the opening of Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Them hips though on Rhea.
All three have character quirks related to their true identities. I feel that Flayn might be saying shush at this point, so I'll leave it at that. This is a simple area of the stage.
It'd be really
All
funny
it
if it's
has
like
are
if you
these
approach
platforms.
like Flayn
Being the last area, it
and
may be a
Sedith,
place
and
where
like
some
Sedith like
intense
immediately
battles
like
will be waged.
rushes in to like block
It'll cycle
Flayn
through
from any
each
battle.
location in about 2.5 minutes.
Let's see, Byleth in action.
Okay, today we'll have a tag team battle in Squad Strike with the DLC team pitted against Fire Emblem protagonists from throughout the ages. That'll give us precisely 5 players per side.
I would
All
laugh
right,
so
here we
hard
go,
if just
Joker.
Byleth like died immediately.
Joker! And Hero!
He's just gonna kill all of them just so he can do
We really made a lot,
5v1.
huh? Banjo! By now, I think you know what I'm doing. But
Terrence.
basically, I'm trying to defeat all 5
Terrence,
opponents
no!
with just the Professor here. But as expected, it's going to be a pretty tough battle, so I'm using
Fight 'em.
anything I can get my hands on. It's not going to land that easy.
Alright, Sakurai's just flexing at this point.
Uh-oh, this is bad. Bennigan's.
I'm honestly expecting him to
I better
lose
keep my
just because of
distance.
how much damage he's already taken.
I'll use this chance to attack. Got him. That's scary. He's invincible for a moment here.
The Byleth solo
Lots of
challenge.
explosives.
Defeat every Fire Emblem character as just Byleth. Which is probably
Never
gonna
showed
end up
that,
being
huh?
what Byleth's classic
Good
mode
one.
is.
If I do this, like this, or like so. No anti-air, huh? There, the soccer ball connected.
What does beating up the party ball more do?
Good. There's Mom. You're in a good spot, Mom.
Good, there's Mom.
Ah, I shouldn't have taken that. Gardevoir. Well, I guess no one uses
Oh
projectiles.
no.
At this point, it doesn't matter if Gardevoir's there or not.
I really, I really hope.
I feel
I
like the enemy
really
might get
hope
this Smash Ball.
that like we get like fan
See?
art
They got it.
of like
But
Mother
it mustn't
Brain
give
as
up.
Sakurai's mom.
I can't waste the chance. There's another Smash Ball. Yes, got it. Now, what are you charging up for?
I think that was that might have been rigged in Sakurai's favor, methinks, just to show off the final smash.
There's still more. Whack. Go on, you can take the hammer.
Oh,
But
good.
it's
There's
mine.
Mom.
Although I'm scared I might get hit with a counter in this state. I hit him.
That's not
I was
how he
trying
wanted to
fight
win.
using
That's
Byleth's
not how he wanted to
abilities
win at
alone,
all.
But what matters is that I won. Good game.
Let's use the DLC team against the Fire Emblem characters, and then not use 4 of them.
It can be fun to play like this, especially in tag team, so I think it's a good idea to try imposing different types of challenges on yourself.
I do like that he showed that off, because I
The
feel like
end.
that's probably an ignored mode by most of the casual play. Song collection.
Now, about the additional music. Since it's from the Fire Emblem series, we'll be adding each of the new tracks to all the Fire Emblem stages. There are already a lot of Fire Emblem tracks in the game. Our selection this time has been made taking those existing tracks into consideration. 11 songs are being added. This includes
like
an
that we got
arrangement
Tearing
of
Through
the
Heaven.
main theme in both Japanese and English. I hope you'll enjoy these as well. We're also adding in a new spirit board.
Of course.
It includes the house leaders among some of the other popular characters. Sothis is Legend class. Also, there's a new classic mode route, a Heroic Legacy, which is designed to let you enjoy classic Fire Emblem stages from throughout the series' history. The final
That's true,
battle
no
is against
gatekeeper
Master
spirit.
Hand and Crazy Hand, but you'll find that something pretty amusing happens, so look forward to that. Now for the Mii Fighter costumes.
There we go.
Please take a look.
I'm assuming we're getting at least one of the lords. What? Assassin's Creed? Jeez. Rabbits. Oh, that's horrifying. That is terrifying. Which means we're probably gonna get a Rayman costume. Another Mega Man X costume. A one for X. We got one for Zero before. Mega Man Battle Network. Mega Man.exe. Oh, nice. We're getting Star Force next? Oh, man! That's nuts! Are we getting both Cuphead and Mugman? Oh, he's a gunner. That's so cool. And it includes a music track. Wow! That looks really... The Cuphead looks really good. The rabbit is horrifying. Those are available on January 28th, just like the fighter. Okay, okay.
はい、今回新
This
しく
time, we're releasing a Cuphead costume.
することになりました。そして、
And for those of you who purchased the Cuphead costume, an additional song will be added. It's called Floral Fury, and it's the theme that plays when fighting Cagney Carnation.
これらも
I hope you enjoy these as well. After purchasing a costume, I recommend using the sharing feature. If someone has created a Mii fighter, you can play using the costume it's wearing immediately after you download it. And now, onto the
That's
amiibo.
interesting. So I wonder if that means you don't have to buy it then.
The color palette for Dark Samus looks pretty good, doesn't it? Dark Samus and Richter are planned for release
Those are
on
available
Friday,
tomorrow,
January
okay.
17th.
5 fighters have joined the fight.
はい、そして今回
And now, with the addition of Byleth, the Fighter's Pass is finally complete. The lineup was Joker, Hero, Banjo and Kazooie, Terry Bogard, and Byleth. From more than 70 fighters, only 5 have been added. But I must say, this game has always been an exceptional experience. And since the roster was already so large to
Give us
begin
more.
with, right from the start, we intended to make the most out of the new gameplay mechanics and so on. There really were a lot of new mechanics, weren't there? When we add a new fighter, we don't simply make their attacks or their movements a little different. Instead, we try to offer you a whole new style of play.
And how do you explain Roy in Smash Wii U? Nah, that was... I kid. That was a pre-existing character.
As I stated,
That's what it was.
we'll continue to release more DLC fighters down the line. I had thought that 1 or 2 might suffice, but, well, have a look.
Hello. Even more fighters in development. 5 more characters. 6 more characters.
Looks like there will be 1 more fighter than last time. For this reason, we will be releasing the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighters Pass Volume 2. It
All
will
challenger,
be available
all,
for
all challenger
pre-purchase
packs
on
will
the
be
date
released
shown,
by
so please keep an
December
eye out.
31st, 2021.
And now
It's
that
on the
it's
bottom.
official, we intend to move ahead with development. Of course, like last time, the contents will remain unknown for now, and I'm personally very sorry that we have to release Fighters Pass Volume 2 when the details have yet to be revealed. Like last time, I'd be very grateful if, despite that, you would understand why and purchase it. Furthermore, the new additions have already been decided. Even if I receive many requests regarding potential candidates on Twitter, I'm afraid it would be very hard to consider them.
Oh no, he's going Kamiya.
But I still
started.
hope you'll look forward to it. We're also including a bonus with Fighters Pass Volume 2. Last time, it was a Rex costume. But this time, here's what we have. It's a Mii Fighter costume for Mii Sword Fighter, the ancient soldier gear from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
That was really good armor in Breath
This
of the
will
Wild.
not be for sale individually, so it can only be acquired as part of Fighters Pass Volume 2. It's been reported that Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the highest-selling fighting game in the world. Personally, I don't know if it counts as simply a fighting game, but I guess it's seen as a fighting game around the world.
Is it a fighting? Is this a fighting
Seems
game?
like Street Fighter II was in the lead for a while, but now Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has surpassed it in total sales. However, I'm not sure if this is accurate. There were 5 versions of Street Fighter II, or 6 to 7 if we really want to get into the weeds. Plus, there's the arcade versions and the 25 ports to other systems, so I don't know if that's been accounted for. Also, I don't know if that really qualifies as one game. It's up for discussion. So, who knows?
It's a complicated matter.
But when it comes to a single piece of software, it seems like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is number 1. Although, I still don't know if it can really be called just a fighting game. I feel like it's become more than a fighting game, some sort of celebration of gaming or something else entirely.
Since it has Ryu and Ken, doesn't that
Also,
mean that it's
I feel
bolstering
a
Street
deep
Fighter
attachment
2
to the
sales?
5 DLC fighters.
非常に感慨深いものを覚えています。第一シーズンの終わりで
The first Fighters Pass just wrapped up, but it was decided that there would be more DLC,
これからも休みは
which means no breaks for me.
思っています。
I plan to keep working hard, so I hope you can continue to support us.
それでは以上です。
That's it.
お疲れ様でした。
Thank you.
lot of people are going to be mad at the reveal and, like, nothing, like, special coming out, nothing, like, hype. I like that, though. I think it was very humble. Can't wait to get my hands on Byleth, though. You know, maybe that sounds a bit wrong. But, like, it's this sort of seemed like a very, like, fatigued kind of a very fatigued kind of display here for our dear Masahiro Sakurai. I'm very interested to play as Byleth, though. The different weapon mechanic is pretty interesting. So he's not just a sword fighter. I think it was confirmed that the tilts were going to be the sword, and everything else from smashes to aerials to the special moves were going to have different weapons based on the direction input. And the trailer was also very self-aware when it's like, where Byleth just returns defeated, like, yeah, I only have a sword and everyone else is using a sword. Can I have more? So Sothis is just like, yeah, here, let me go ahead and just take the weapons from the other lords. I'm sure they won't miss them. Don't worry about it. We do have 6 more characters to go through. Here's the thing I'm kind of wondering as well, is like, how many people are going to be disappointed? Not that it's a Fire Emblem character, but that it was a first-party Nintendo character. That's more of what I was thinking. So we got the 6 more DLC characters in the works, and they've already been chosen on. So it's probably going to be things that have been released. So it can only be characters that have been released from the beginning from the end of 2019 backwards. Byleth uses a whip. Interesting. Very true indeed. Anyway, the YouTube portion of this is coming to an end, and, well, not as excited as I have been for previous ones, as we've seen with Banjo-Kazooie, but I do like Three Houses a lot, and I was kind of hoping for representation there. I was kind of hoping it wasn't Byleth, but I do like the fact that they've given Byleth more options for weapons, I suppose, than they have with other Fire Emblem characters. Where, yeah, every single one of them uses a sword. Even when you consider, like, Robin, who uses magic on top of that, and Corrin, who also kind of uses, like, the dragon, like, the sort of, like, dragon aspects there. I think Byleth has a little bit more variety to it, as their weapon set's a little bit more varied. Based in like physical weaponry and not in like magic and whatnot. It is very interesting with the Mii costumes that they went with Assassin's Creed and Rabbids for the representation there, and not Rayman. However, it's weird because I wonder, so far no character that already has a representation in Smash Ultimate at all, including like things like spirits or like assist trophies and things like that, haven't even really shown up at all as potential characters. So I don't think that, but this kind of threw a wrench into the works a little bit, because you kind of expect a Rayman, like a Rayman skin. I don't know how that would work though, because he's got no limbs. Anyway, it's just future speculation. Now we got 6 more DLC characters to wonder about. And you know, we'll have to see where it goes from there. 6 through 11 are fair game. We've already gotten it proven. First off, we already knew that there were more characters coming, so I don't think that Byleth is a waste of a space at all. If anything, I'm kind of happy that they're including more Nintendo characters and more like recent Nintendo characters as well. You know, we got the 6 other slots there. It's also been proven that pretty much anything is possible. Well, I say anything, but like, I think we'd be hard pressed to see like Doom Guy or Master Chief get involved. And it's the kind of thing too where it's like, Nintendo's always kind of had a weird recent Nintendo's always kind of had a weird relationship with other hardware developers. Where they've kind of just become their own thing. You know, it's very interesting. So it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility that we would get a first party Microsoft character or first party Sony character. I say first party, but you know what I mean. Like an exclusive Sony character, an exclusive Microsoft character. I'm still holding out for Mochi from Monster Rancher. Anywho, those are my thoughts on it. And I can't wait for Byleth to come out and for more of like the stuff to happen. I'm still waiting for the Tetris pieces to be added to the shop from that event, because we haven't seen those in a while. Well, we got Astral Chain coming though. Or was it Daemon X Machina? One of the two. Anywho, yeah, so thank you all for joining me here. Hope you enjoyed my reactions to what we got from this Smash Direct, and I hope you whether you enjoy the upcoming character or not, I hope you still have fun. Later.